Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and College Baseball. With me is Will Power. There's a lot of playoff games already finished, and we're going to talk about the series, the A's and Astros, and Yankees and Rays. First of all, let's go into the A's and Astros. That was a pretty neat playoff series right there, right?
Yeah, man. I was really surprised that Astros hitting came alive. I really didn't expect that. In the wild card series, they started to come to life a little bit. There was a couple home runs from Correa and a
Yeah,
couple other guys, but it really looks like there's only one guy that's still struggling, and that's Yuli Gurriel. But
yeah,
it seems like every other guy on the team is just hitting home runs, hitting doubles and triples, and trying to steal bases, even though they get caught once in a while. But they're trying to play baseball. Much better than they did during the regular season.
yeah,
Defense is getting a lot better. Altuve, I was really expecting him to kind of like fumble a little bit when the ball would come to him, like he
yeah.
did. During the regular season, so many times. I think he led the league in errors this season. But
Wow.
yeah, he did really good. I was really surprised.
One thing that surprised me was game one when Correa hit the home run. He hit two home runs, I believe, in game one,
Yeah.
and they gave him a interview, and he was just kind of humble about it. I don't know if his PR talked to him or anybody talked to his agent, talked to him, and told him, cool it down, dude, like relax. And that's kind of a player you want to see. You guys did something wrong before, and then now you're winning games. You beat the Twins, and now you're playing against the A's, and you guys showed up in this series again, and it looks like their bats are super hot, to be honest. And he spoke in front of the camera, and he said, we're getting our bats back together, we're playing baseball, and this is what we need to do. We need to show what we are with our game, not by speaking. And that kind of surprised me when he said that. I mean, I still don't like the guy. He's still good, and he's still good baseball player, but I just don't like the guy because of how he carries himself and how he talks to the media about how the cheating scandal and all that stuff. But all that
Yeah.
aside, they are playing a lot better, and you know what? It's something scary to see, to be honest, because this is like the Astro team that we actually expected to see, and we expected them to see we expected to see them play this way without cheating, right? And now that they're there, it's a scary team. It's a real scary team. The A's didn't really have a shot. Yeah, they were playing home run per home run, and then coming
Right.
back in every inning and stuff like that. But it's just the Astros were just too much for the A's.
I think the Astros did the same thing to the A's that they did to the Twins, and that was just kind of capitalize on the errors and just kind of playing bad baseball, kind of all around. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the Twins made a couple errors, and they weren't really running the bases like
Yeah.
they should be playing in the major leagues. And the A's, they did the same thing. Too many errors, like Matt Olson dropping that fly ball into right
Yeah.
field. Like that shouldn't even been his ball, He should have
Yeah.
just let the right fielder get it. And little things like that, you 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 got to stop trying to show off, especially during the playoffs. If you're going to try to make that play, if the right fielder has like a shift on and he's like playing more in like, right center or something, then that's one thing. But the right fielder was right there. Now it's partly Olson's fault, but it's also partly the right fielder's fault. The right fielder should have just called him off and just made the play himself. He was right there,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't remember what the score was at that particular time, but that could be like a game-saving play right there.
They
It could
can.
give the offense of the A's another opportunity to try to get back into the game or keep the lead or get the lead. The
Yeah.
A's have a pretty good lineup when it comes to hitting, even without Matt Chapman, who's been out for a few months.
Yeah.
You know, Laureano started to come to life towards the end of the series, and Matt Olson's just a beast. That guy hits home runs left and right. And Tommy La Stella, that guy when he got traded from the Angels, I remember he was always a pretty decent prospect, but a lot of people don't know he's kind of older. He's like 28 years old.
He is older.
And even though he's like somewhat of a rookie in the major leagues, he has that experience, and he's a good quality hitter. He has good quality at bats, and
And he doesn't strike out a lot either. He doesn't strike out a lot. He takes a lot of pitches, and he
Yeah,
doesn't strike out a lot. That's a hard strikeout right there. I mean, too bad for the A's, right? I mean, they lost 3-1. We did see a little glimpse or saw a little heated, emotional game for the A's on the third game, and we were like, okay, well, maybe they're coming back from that, but they didn't. And then it's just like the Astros, like I said, the Astros just got hot at the right time, and the Astros hitters are saying that. They're saying, well, this is like the third month of the season. This is when we actually catch on fire, and we start catching, our break. We start playing as a team. And, with that said, their hitting could take them all the way, and it's scary to say, like, we're not Astro fans or anything. And if there's any Astro fans following us, you guys been seeing our videos, and we haven't been talking good about the Astros until now, only because the Astros are playing good baseball. We still don't like them, but they are playing good baseball, and that could take them all the way. And it's scary to say that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, especially now that the Yankees are out, and they're going to be playing Tampa Bay in the next series, which I was really hoping that they were going to play the Yankees.
Yeah.
But like when you were saying that we don't really like the Astros, that's been true for a very long time. And I've been watching videos of Altuve and of Bregman and Yuli Gurriel and now Correa. And honestly, most of the Astros hitters have been very quiet. They haven't said anything since they were interviewed when the scandal first came out. The only one that's been talking since the beginning, like you said, is Carlos Correa. He's the one that's always chirping after him or his team does something good. Like, yes, we know you're good ball players, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is you were good ball players in 2017, but you felt that you needed an advantage to win. So because of that, this season, I think, even though they're playing good baseball right now, is just tarnished. And really, the only way that people are going to forgive and forget is if if Carlos Correa really did have a change of heart, like you said, you just watched an interview with him, and he starts talking like a real man. I really feel like all these interviews that he's been doing, he makes himself out to be a POS, and no one likes a person like that, let alone a ball player like that.
No.
I respect the hell out of guys like Mike Trout or, even Bryce Harper that has a temper sometimes. But guys like Correa, guys like Machado, like those are the guys that I don't want to see on a team that I root for, or I don't want to see on a team that's doing good, because they're just the ones that kind of give baseball a bad name. There's always just that kind of like one guy that kind of stands out. And right now that's Correa. And he's really the reason why people are hating the Astros so much right now. Like, if he would have been humble from the beginning, most people would be like, wow, they're doing really good. Like, they would have, ate their words and just said the truth and just be real, that the Astros are looking like a really solid team right now, even without, Verlander and Garrett Cole, Roberto Osuna, But just because of the attitude that Correa and, maybe one or two of the other guys have had in the past few months, like, that's the reason why a lot of people don't like the Astros still to this day.
So with that said, you pointed out something really good, and we like humble players, and we like them on the field as well as outside the field. Now, remember what I said about them, Correa speaking to the media, and he sounded a little bit more positive. He sounded a little bit more like humble. But Dusty Baker actually just came out not too long ago, like I think it came out today. He tweeted something saying that be careful what you ask for, because the A's kind of said, good thing we're playing the Astros. So Dusty Baker came out and said, be careful what you ask for, right? So then that's what happened. I don't know if Dusty Baker is taking all that stuff and all the, media attention now because he said that. Which is good, because you're the coach. You're supposed to have it. Get the media away from the players. That's what it is. That's what you need to do, so they can focus on the game and just focus on playing the game on game day. And the coaches, they have to go ahead and get the media on them and have the media talk about the coach, not the players. So we'll see as the series, as the next series goes on. Since you already said the Yankees already lost, which was a really good series. It was a tight series. It had big time pitching, big time hitting. it was like down to the wire. In this last game, it was just intense. They went 1-1, and it's just that's the way you should be playing playoff baseball, I think.
Yeah.
And
These two teams played
they were
great
showcasing
baseball
yeah,
the whole series.
yeah,
There were some pitching mistakes which happen.
yeah,
Sometimes you leave a curveball a little bit too high, and a good hitter is going to hit it out. Or you leave a fastball right down the middle, and a good hitter is going to hit it out. And
yeah.
mistakes happen. Not everyone's going to be perfect, but fielding wise and hitting wise, these guys were just solid all around,
All around.
And I'm not saying that the pitching was bad, don't get me wrong. Like Tyler Glasnow pitched good. Blake Snell pitched okay. And the whole bullpen of the Rays, they're
They
all
stepped up.
pretty outstanding. And the Yankees actually did the same thing. Like the Yankees, everyone expected Garrett Cole to be amazing, which he pretty much was.
Yeah, he
But
was.
the rest of the Yankees staff, like they really came out and they showed that they can pitch in the postseason.
Yeah.
There was I think there was one game that was high scoring. I think game 2 maybe. But other than that, like we saw like a decent amount of home runs, but home runs are one thing, a lot of solo home runs, except for the grand slam from Giancarlo Stanton.
Which Stanton hit 5 home runs, which was impressive to me. He doesn't hit that many in the season, and then he comes to playoffs. It's like, what happened?
I read a stat today that Giancarlo Stanton is the first player in MLB history to have a double or better in every game of the first 5 games of the series.
Wow. That's good, man. That's impressive. Especially like you said,
for sure.
He didn't hit that well in the season, and he didn't play that many games in the season, but he comes to playoffs and he shows up. And that's what you want to see in players. He's a big time name. Giancarlo Stanton's a big name, so why not showcase your talent in the playoffs? One thing though with the Yankees and Rays, the Pirates have something to be involved with, because they had Glasnow and they had Garrett Cole, so they must be kicking themselves in the butt. I mean, seriously. Those are 2 top pitchers.
Yeah, and I think they finished like 30th in the league this season. They were in dead last place. So you gave up Tyler Glasnow and Garrett Cole for what?
Nothing to show for it, because you're not even in the playoffs. You're in last place in the MLB.
Well,
you're getting to see your 2 top pitchers that were in your organization now pitch for other organizations.
Now, they wouldn't have had Garrett Cole still, because Garrett Cole became a free agent last season.
But they would have still it would have been no, last season was the last season. Last season was, what was it, with the Astros, right?
Yeah,
with the Astros.
So he last year is when he became a free agent and signed with the Yankees.
Yeah,
but towards the end of the season, if the Pirates weren't doing so good, that would be the time to trade him, right before he's becoming a free agent.
Yeah.
Not, years before, when you didn't know about.
Is that the trade for Archer?
Yeah, they
Tampa
traded
Bay?
To Tampa for Archer. They actually traded Glasnow away and got Archer in return, which was a huge mistake.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Honestly, there's so many managers and so many guys from the front office that are either stepping down or getting fired. The guy from the Pirates, he's the one that should have been fired for that one.
Yeah, I think so. So with that said, man, we already got the winners for the AL, for the ALCS. Who do you got on top on this series?
I got to go with the Rays, man. I said it before with the Yankees. I think that the Rays, their pitching is just so dominant that they're going to be able to go out there and handle good bats. They handled the Yankees. You saw the Yankees have 2 20-run games.
Yeah.
They had 2 separate 20-run games.
Yeah.
During the regular season. They are an amazing hitting team, especially with Judge healthy and Stanton healthy, and the home run leader of the league, Luke Voigt, plus DJ LeMahieu, who's going to win the batting title this year for the American League. That is such an amazing lineup. I was not surprised that it went to 5 games.
Yeah, the Rays pitching just kind of just went through that lineup. It wasn't an easy task for them, so they must be really exhausted in this series. So you're picking the Rays. I'm gonna give a surprise. I know I picked the Rays to go to the World Series. I'm gonna pick the Astros, man, only because the Astros have been hot and have been playing good baseball. They haven't. I don't think they've gone through an inning where they're not getting someone on base, man. So they're hot, and it could be because they're playing a team that didn't play as well than the Twins, and maybe the A's didn't play as well in that series. Regardless of what that is, the Astros still came on top, and they showed why they were on top. They hit a lot of home runs, they played a lot of defense, and their pitching was just on there. That's the thing with the Astros, though. They don't have pitching depth just like the Rays, but with the Astros, is just everybody's hitting. You got a two-base Springer, Correa, Bregman. I think he needs to step it up a little bit more, but he's hitting. Basically, he hit 2 home runs in this last series, so I think it's just clicking for them. It's really clicking for them. So I think, we're going against each other again. We did pick the Rays, right, to beat the Yankees. And we picked the A's, which it didn't happen. So it's we're tied. So now we're going against each other. So
I picked the A's because I didn't want the Astros to win.
Yeah.
But I think I did say in one of the videos, like, I think Houston is probably going to win, but I want the A's to win.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't happen like that. I think I might have said that actually in my live Instagram video that I did.
I think so. Hey, but I'm not an Astro fan. I do hate on them and everything, but I just got to look at it for what it is. They're a good team, and I got to give them that at least. And
this is what I think. I think that with the Twins, they had Jose Barrios, right, who's a great pitcher, and Kenta Maeda, and that's it. They didn't have Rich Hill, who has that amazing curveball, and they – Jake Odorizzi, they have Odorizzi, who, he's a jag, he's just a guy. There's so many pitchers out there that are jags, just a guy, and those aren't the type of pitchers that you want to be pitching in the playoffs. You want to make sure that you do something before the trade deadline to make sure you win. And the A's didn't do that.
No.
The A's didn't make any trades, even though they knew that they didn't have a World Series winning team. They needed pitching, and just like the Twins also, they needed pitching, which they did get Kenta Maeda from the Dodgers, but they lost Brusdar Graterol, and he's been an amazing pitcher this season. He's been lights out. What's his ERA, like a 160 something?
Something. It could have helped out the Twins, but too bad for them. They didn't have them.
Yeah, the Dodgers capitalized on that.
Yeah.
But even so, like the rest of the Twins bullpen or starting pitching, it's just in a 3-game series, they could have pulled it off, but they didn't. But if they would have made it on to the next round and they would have faced the A's, they would have lost. They don't have the pitching. But then again, the A's don't either. Chris Bassett, Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea has a no-hitter in his career, but I really think that was a one and done. He's not this like super great, amazing pitcher. Mike Fiers has a no-hitter in his career too. I think he actually has 2 of them, but we all know what kind of pitcher he is. He was almost a 6 ERA guy this season.
Yeah.
And the rest of the bullpen, the rest of the starting pitchers that they have, there's a couple guys that have spots of greatness, but when it really comes down to it, the A's have weak pitching, the Twins have weak pitching, and against a solid lineup like Houston, that's the problem, But in the next series with Tampa having, this amazing pitching that they do, I really believe that the Yankees have better hitting than the Astros, but the Astros are kind of a better all-around team. Gleyber Torres made an error today. You don't really see that from the Astros in the postseason so far. They have, Bregman and Correa and Altuve and Yuli Gurriel, like all 4 of those guys could be Gold Glove winners this season. Yeah. And
I don't know about Altuve though. He made a lot of errors this season.
Yeah, during the regular season, but then in the playoffs, he's showing up. So.
Yeah, he is. So that's a good thing for the Astros. That's a really good thing. So,
and then plus in the outfield, Springer and Brantley. both of those guys are also potential Gold Glove winners. And Springer coming into a free agency after the season's over. You already know what he's expecting, and I really think that that's the reason why he kind of turned it on now. He's trying to fade out those background noises of, people heckling or whatever. And he's trying to finally show the player that he can be without the trash cans. And that's one reason why I think that they didn't do that good in the regular season this year. I think because in the past few years, they've been relying so much on those trash cans or the cameras or the buzzers, whatever, that they kind of forgot how to hit, and then 3 months goes by into the season, and then we're in the postseason now. And then finally, like, things are starting to click because they've seen so many pitchers. They've had so many at bats. So they've actually had the experience to kind of get back into the basics and hit. And I think actually that's a testament to Dusty Baker, because Dusty Baker, he's an old school coach. He's back with the Giants and with the Nationals, and now
The
with
Cubs.
Houston,
Cubs
yeah,
too.
exactly. So he's been around the block a few times, and he knows how to get back to basics. And he really turned this team around, I think.
Yeah, you heard our picks. I got the Astros. Will got Tampa Bay. It's a pitching from the Rays going to hold the Astros down, or
One more thing I want to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, as a hitter, to be considered an elite hitter, you fail 7 out of 10 times, right? So that means that you only have to be successful 30% of the time to be considered elite. Now, as a pitcher, Tyler Glasnow and Charlie Morton and Blake Snell, to be considered an elite pitcher, you need to hold the opposition to 2 runs or less for each game that you pitch.
Okay.
And you want to have, in a regular season, you want to have about 16, 17 wins to be considered like elite.
Okay.
And that's a hell of a lot better statistic than failing 7 out of 10 times. So if these batters fail 7 out of 10 times, and these pitchers, and they succeed 9 out of 10 times, pitching's always going to win, in my opinion. Solid pitching beats solid hitting in the playoffs.
Well, we will see, man, because I picked the Astros, and that's hitting, and you're picking the pitching. So, I don't want the Astros to win, but if they do, they go to the World Series, and hopefully we get to see them in the World Series against a team that we want to see in the World Series. And we'll talk about that in the other video, because we don't want to get too much information on this video. We want you to watch the next video too. So this is Carlos Baseball. This is Will Power. Make sure you guys go ahead and go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. This is Baseball, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.
Blooper reel.